Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read a lot of books, mainly library books. And today I'm here to do another reading sequels reading vlog. When I am filming this, it's not yet September. It's Friday the 29th of August. And yeah, so I am happy to say that yes, I did have more time for my sequels. So I have 2 sequels that are due in a week. So those are the ones I'm gonna focus on for this video. And I think it's 2 out of maybe 3 this month that is actually in English. That's kind of funny. It wasn't my intention to only get Swedish books for this month, but if you saw my TBR video with my shamanic journey game, I took those prompts to the library and then I just grabbed the books that fit the prompt. So anyway, didn't mean to have most of my books in Swedish this month, but I'm not complaining. It's not that I seek out either or. The only rules I have is that if it's translated from another language than English, then I would rather have the Swedish translation, because it feels weird to read like an Italian book in English when I could just get the Swedish translation directly from Italian. That's kind of my only rule. Otherwise I just grab what's in. And I do prefer to read Swedish books in the original language, like Swedish, and not the translation of Swedish into English. That just feels far-fetched. Like, if I were to read a Fredrik Backman book, I would read his original work, not his translated into English. But anyway, I'm not here to read his books, am I? No. I am here to read this one, finally. I don't know why I just postponed this one so long. So this is the second book in the War of Lost Hearts series by Carissa Broadbent, Children of Fallen Gods. So this is the first one I'm gonna get into in this vlog. And then when that is done, because this is like 624 pages I think, so I'm gonna get to it first so I don't feel stressed about that at the end of the week. And then I'm gonna read this one, Apprentice to the Villain. That is the sequel to Assistant to the Villain. I don't know if this series has another name. So I'm gonna get to that when I'm done with the Carissa Broadbent book. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hello, welcome back, and welcome back to me. Now I have reached the 100-page mark. I actually am on page 145, so 145 pages into this book. So, what do I think? Okay, so when I first started reading this book, the first thing that hit me and that I had forgotten was that they were going into war. They were preparing for war again, it's like they fought a battle in the last book. So maybe this is a spoiler. I'm gonna put the spoiler alert somewhere on the screen. So in the first book, they went to free the slaves, and they fought that. And a big part of this book is that Tisana has been overtaken by some kind of entity called Reshai. I think that's how you pronounce it. Or Reshai. And this entity is craving blood and is trying to get it. It's an it in this book. It's an it, so it's not gendered, and it is out for blood. So whatever Tisana does, it's lingering in the back, trying to get to the front and trying to take over her, and the thing is that this has great magic. So she's a magic wielder, and this is magic, and there's a whole story about the blood pact, etc. But anyway, so I had kind of forgotten that this book was about the war. And you know, the series is called The War of the Lost Hearts. So I should have thought about it. So when I realized there was a war, like in the beginning of the book, they were waiting to go to war again. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I want to go to war right now. Why did I wait so long to read this book? And so I was a little bit kind of bored with the idea of a war. So if you watched my reading blog with reading sequels the first time, so with the Golden Sun, the Red Rising trilogy, you might remember that I said that I like strategic wars. Like, I like wars and stuff when there's strategy, when there's like in that book it's an uprising. And this is also, in the first book it was kind of an uprising, it was, you know, freeing the slaves, etc. But this book is more about brute force and bringing forth the magic and the force of this Rashai entity and using that to take over the world in a way in this book. So I wasn't really prepared for that. I was like, oh no. So I was a little bit bored with that at the beginning. But then just a few chapters in, I was surprised for the better. You know, it was a good surprise. Because it turns out there's Fae in this book. So in this book we get another perspective, another POV from a Fae. So there's all of a sudden we follow 2 different stories, or 3. But we follow the humans with Tisana and Maxentarius. And then we follow the Fae, and there's like another story, and I think that they are gonna, you know, come together at some point in the book. So that kind of sparked my interest again. It renewed my interest, because I do like the characters, I do like the book, I do like the story. I'm just not that into action. And I was like, oh no, did I forget that this is gonna be just war action? But when the Fae were introduced, I was like, oh, there's Fae in this book. Not just humans and magic. Well, yeah, so that little twist turned my attention on again. So that's why I've come this far. So I read this amount yesterday. I haven't had time to read anything today. I own my own business and I work from home. I work on my computer, I have my other YouTube channel, and I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I make videos, like educational videos on the shamanic topics, and I am in the bouts of starting a Patreon with that content, with extra material, and eventually some courses, and ceremonies, etc. for patrons. So I am in a period of time where I have to manage my time very, very well, and I have come to realize that I like working Sundays, because that means I get to have slower Mondays, and I do like a slow Monday, especially since I oftentimes go to the library on Mondays. So on Sundays what I do is that I plan my week ahead, so that I am organized for the entire work week, and I try to have like time off Friday and Saturday, because on Fridays my partner's job closes early, so he comes home early, and on Saturdays we like to just chill, or like he likes to chill on Saturdays, and I can't really focus on anything when he's just chilling. I get so caught up in the energy of resting, so I'm just embracing the resting mode on Saturdays. But on Sundays, he's got a bit more energy, I have a bit more energy, and I do like to be organized for the week ahead. And today is the last of August, so I am also in the midst of planning September. So like an overview of September, of all the videos I'm gonna post, of all the ceremonies I'm gonna host, of all the courses, if there's a course that's gonna start or courses that are ongoing, and you know, just like an overview of things, so that when I get to the Sundays, I can just look at the overview and be like, oh, okay, so that's where I am in the month, and this is where I'm going. So it's kind of an inner conflict sometimes, because I like to live my life new moon to new moon. So it's like I start my month 2 times. So last week was the new moon, like a week ago, and I set my intentions, and I plan a little bit ahead, and then, like, as it is now, a week later, today, I do my actual calendar planning for a month ahead, and I also try to look like 2 months ahead, like what do I do for October, or any major things happening in October, so that when I send my newsletter out to my clients and my followers and anyone that's interested in what's happening on my shamanic side of my business, then which is my entire side of the business right now. I got a question not long ago, don't you walk dogs? And I was like, well, yeah, I used to, but I actually haven't for a while. I do walk one dog for fun, not my dog, and that's the dog that pops up in the breeding vlogs from time to time. So now I'm in the midst of reorganizing my company, and it's or my business, my company. It sounds like it's me and 100 per people, but it's not. It's just little old me, just little old me. So I'm in the midst of reorganization, you can say, but I'm at the later stage, so I know what I want and where. But it's a lot of planning, and you know what they say, planning is 80% of anything. And then like 10% is execution, and 10% is reevaluating what went wrong. So I'm in the midst of like planning, and I'm about to execute my next step in real life, and I'm just in Thurisas energy, and if you don't know what that is, you can go to my other channel where I talk about runes and the giants that so the Thurisas energy is the energy of giants that just reshape the world, when they just throw the boulders or everywhere. It's chaos energy, it's destruction for the purpose of creation. So that's kind of the energy I'm in right now, and I really feel that from time to time, but I think I'm done with my organization for today. So I do recognize that I have to be more more organized and organizing and planning more, because that's the phase I'm in right now. So I'm gonna have to do that alongside a lot of the execution. So it's yeah, it's a thing. That's where I am right now. So it's a lot of energy going into that. Yeah, it's about so it's around 3:30 in the afternoon. I have been awake since 6:30. That's when my partner's alarm clock went off, because he's away. He's an airsofter. I don't know if you know what that is, but he does airsoft. So he's away airsofting all day, which is perfect for me to be able to sit at home and just do my thing. Today that works out really well, and I did kind of plan it that when I heard that he wanted to go do that today. So yeah, which means that I can, if I have anything I want to film, if I have anything I want to edit or do or whatever, I can do that and have space to do it. And this is an extra day this week, so this week I don't think I'm gonna have a slow Monday. I don't think I'm gonna have a slow Monday. We'll see, but I don't think so. I have it's like I have the theme of harvest in September on my other YouTube channel, and I have videos planned that preferably must happen outside, and the weather is just crap. It's like so unreliable. I have to plan for like different scenarios. It's so annoying. I have to plan for what if it just rains. What do I do if it just rains and everything just rains away and I can't do any actual harvesting? What do I do then? You know. So and then at the same time hope that there's gonna be some, not just, you know, times where it doesn't rain, but also hopefully some sun and some drier ground so that I can do what I need to do. It feels like everything is up in the air and I have to plan for this amount of things or possibilities, and then what I'm gonna end up with is this. So this is what I need, but I have to plan for this. And that's kind of the basis of having a business of your own anyway. But, you know, I'm in a period of time where I'm reorganizing as well, and I don't know where everything is going to end up. So I always have to put in this amount of work and planning, and then execute it in a way that I still get this part that is the most important part, and like trust trust the process and hope for the best. That's kind of where I am. So I'm so tired in my brain right now, and if I have seemed a little bit more tired in some videos in the last couple of weeks or month, it's because I am. It feels like it is so much going on up here. So yeah, yeah. But I'm so happy I have been able to go outside a lot. Like in one video you saw me going to a nature preserve with a friend and her cats, and in the other video you saw me going to another nature preserve with my dad, and I'm so happy I have gotten those opportunities. But yeah, I try to schedule going out into nature, but the weather just F's up my planning. So I just have to be like on the lookout for good weather and be like, oh no, yeah, I can go now, and just hold everything so I can just put everything on pause and go outside, get some air, get some nature, you know. And that's why that's one of the reasons I accepted walking this dog when that's not what I do anymore, because it gives me an excuse to be out in nature at least once or twice a week, like for a longer period of time. Because when I walk him, I just put the clothes on that I need and let's go out. So I'm actually kinda into this right now, and I look forward to reading more and to keep up with how many pages I need to get through each day to actually be done with this one and the Apprentice to the Villain before they need to be returned in a bit over a week's time on the 8th of September. I need to read 106 pages a day, so that means I need to read, so I'm already at page 145, so I need to read, what's that, 60 pages? 70 pages today? It felt less a while ago. It felt less. But anyway, I need to read like 70 more pages, and I can do that. It's just 3:30 in the afternoon, so I do have time. So yeah. So if you have watched this far and you're like, but Caspian, when do you read? Well, the answer is that there are times where I just have to wait for stuff. Like if I have made a video, edited a video, and then I need to export it, like save and export and that sort of thing. I just that's when I read. Yeah, so I can plan my time quite like how I want to. It's like it goes in waves like this. So yeah, I will talk to you again when I have gotten a bit further into the book, and we'll see what else. You know, if you don't see me at all until I no B-roll until I talk about the book again, that means all I've been doing is just planning and executing the plans. So just know that I've been busy. That's kind of how it is. So I will see you soon. Okay, so today is Tuesday, the 2nd of September, and I am not quite where I want to be in this book, but it will sort itself out today, I'm sure. So, I am on page 290, so I'm this far into the book, almost halfway. And I came across something yesterday that was mentionable, or worthy of mention. Maybe mentionable, that's like everything's mentionable. You can mention anything. But it's worthy of mentioning. And so in this book, there's Faye, right? I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. I'm just gonna, like... Yeah. Okay, so in this book there's Fae, right? And there's different Fae houses. And the different Fae in the different houses build their homes differently. Some people do it like plain on the ground and outwards in every direction, but most of them seem to build upwards into the sky in different ways. And in this book I've just reached a point where we're in a Fae house that builds upwards, and it's described as being built upwards in the trees, with the trees, and there's like these it's built out of wood and brass, I think it was. So anyway, the mental image that I'm getting when I read this, and I'm a very visual thinker when I read, as I think a lot of people are, especially when you read fantasy. Maybe you have to be a bit of a visual thinker. So I was reading this passage and I was like, I've been here before. This feels so familiar. I've been here before. Ooh, we are here. I was like, and then it hits me. The same, it's the same place as in the Celestial Monsters by Thomas Aiden. No, Aiden Thomas. And I really had the like feeling of, I've been here before. Oh, we're here. And I could just see it so clearly, and then I realized it's a different book, it's a different scenario, different creatures and everything. But it was described in the few words that this one was described, this world in this book. I managed to conjure in my mind the same place as in Celestial Monsters, and I was just so happy to be there, happy to be back. And yeah, there's so many similarities, or maybe it's just the different, you know, descriptions just marry in my mind and create the same place. But I really felt like I want to reread the Sunbury Trials duology soon. I want to visit that place again, but for now I'm gonna have to just visit it in here and hope that they don't spoil it for me. That Carissa Broadbent doesn't spoil that world for me. And I really feel it's like I don't like heights, right? So I can really resonate with one of the characters in this book, Cadwan. I think that's his name, that's how you pronounce it, I think. When he's one of the Fae that lives on the ground, and he doesn't like the heights, and I can so relate. It's like, I want to visit this world and, you know, live among the trees for a while, but I don't want to bring my fear of, I don't call it fear of heights, I call it fear of falling into that. Anyone can relate? Anyone? So yeah, I just wanted to mention that from this book I was suddenly thrown into celestial monsters. So I think it's incredible that that doesn't happen more often when you read fantasy. That there aren't many instances when I read fantasy where I feel like, oh, this is the same world, you know. It never happens. And the one time it does, I'm like, yeah, I want to be there. Give me more. So I'm really enjoying this at the moment. Yeah, I really am. Okay, so I am home again waiting for my lunch. I just wanted to explain the 20 seconds that you saw of nature. That is a burial ground from the Viking Age, and I just wanted to mention, I don't know how many people know this, if you are not Swedish, but I don't think that there are any Vikings buried on that site, just because Viking was a trade, not a nationality. Not a it's like calling all of the Brits from that era colonists. That was not their nationality. It was something that some people did. And I'm not trying to diminish it, but it's kind of the same, because Vikings were very violent. They took people, they took slaves, they took people, they took land, they fought their way, you know. They took the boats across the sea, and then they were aggressive and they were not nice, and maybe some were, but you know, as an occupation they weren't meant to be nice. Some of them were merchants, but the term Viking is very connected to that kind of aggression, and not all Scandinavians from that time, very few actually, were Vikings. You know, some were other type of merchants, some were, yeah, like shoemakers, and some were knights, and some were, you know, different types of trades. So most of them probably were farmers and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just a little reminder that Viking wasn't the people, it was a trade. So it's a Viking Age burial site, but probably no Vikings on that site, I don't think. Okay, so I am kinda blown away right now by the twist in the book. Seriously, I was like, it's just, it's just, it's just amazing. Yeah, I have no words. I have no words. I have about 150 pages left. No, 140 pages left of the book. And it's like I want to read them all now. I don't really have time, but I want to read them all now because of this twist. Good morning. It's Friday the 5th of September. Why do you want to say November? That's way into the future. So, I finished this one last night. I read a lot of pages yesterday because one, I did have some time in the evening to do so, or I took time to do it. Two, I really wanted to finish it because I want to keep up with the books that, you know, I have a lot of books at home from the library right now, and yeah, I talked about that in my TBR for September, that I have books that are due soon. This is one of them. And the third reason was that I really enjoyed it. So this is a 5-star for me, 100%. And I'm looking forward to the last book in the trilogy. Trilogy? There's not a TH at the beginning, there is a T, right? Trilogy. So, I have almost no words for the amount of and impact of twists in this book. It was, in the beginning I don't even remember how I felt in the beginning. You know how I felt in the beginning because of this vlog, but I don't remember. I just remember that we got a third POV somewhere along the line, and I was like, okay, so these two, because there was like two different storylines, completely different it felt like, but set in the same world, but like, yeah. So I was like, okay, so these are gonna converge at some point. And it just took so long, but it was still interesting, and I really enjoyed both of the timelines. I was intrigued by the new one, especially intrigued by the new storyline, not timeline, storyline. And I was just looking forward to everything in this book, every little twist and turn and everything, because there's nothing mundane about this book. There's nothing slow. There are, instances where they have to recover and they have to rest and they have to plan and they have to wait, but Tisana, she's so impatient. She's like the most impatient character in the universe. And I remember reading the first book and thinking, oh, she's so young, she just wants everything to be happen now, and she doesn't understand that if she needs to train, she needs to train for years. She can't be done in a week. Nothing happens that fast. I just remember being like, oh honey, but but in this book, her impatience is really, it fits the story. And it's just, when she's impatient, I'm like, okay, yeah, good. No, I don't know. I just like her personality. I like Max's personality. And the new character that we are introduced to, Afe? How do I say it in my mind? Afe. That's how I say it in my mind. And then we have Ishka. I think those are the four, and Kadwan. Those are the 5 characters in this story. So we follow Maxim Terriers and Tisana in one storyline, and we have both of those POVs. And then we have Aphis POV, and her companions in her storyline are, among others, Ishka and Kadwan. There we go. And when these two storylines converge eventually, I was like, jaw drop. A literal jaw drop. There are so few instances in my life when I read books or watch movies or whatever, when I'm like, and this was one of them. I was like, I can't describe my reaction. It was just mind-blowing, jaw-dropping. And then later on, there's like more of these revelations, and I'm like, yesterday I sat here on my couch, and my partner was on the other end of the couch. He was watching TV with headphones, and I was reading, and a few times he looked at me like, what's happening? Because I sat here like, you know, just these reactions coming from me. And I am a reactive person in that way. I do react to, like, when things happen. I am genuine in my reactions. But I do try to keep them low, you know, when someone else is doing something else beside me. So when there are other people, or when my partner is concentrating on something, focusing on something, then I try to, like, keep it down and be more like instead of so yeah, no, I really enjoyed this book. I'm so happy. And yeah, I wanted to finish it yesterday because I wanted to sleep on it for a night before starting something new. And if I had waited until this morning to finish it, I wouldn't have been able to read anything else today. And I know I have time later today to actually read, so later today I'm gonna start Apprentice to the Villain. So yeah, that's this book, and a lot of tabbing that I'm gonna have to fix. I'm gonna have to make time soon to update my reading journal so that I'm up to date. And yeah, I'm thinking of maybe doing filling it out 1 page a day in my reading journal or something like that, because I need to move forward with that one, because I'm like 2 months. Yeah, I haven't updated it since June, and that's when I updated it for May. So I think I have June, July and August to update in my reading journal. Something like that. So yeah, so later today I'm gonna start the Apprentice to the Villain, and sometime today I'm gonna get back and talk a little bit about that before I start it, I think. Or if I don't, then the next time you'll see me will be when I am like 100 pages into that one, because if I remember correctly, it's about 337 or 35 pages long. So somewhere along the 100 page mark I will get back to you. So maybe later tonight, probably tomorrow, about that. So yeah, see you then.